From time to time, you will need to convert values from one data type into another data type, and this can easily be done using one of Python's built-in data type conversion functions. So let me give you an example of this. Let's say we have a variable here. We're going to call this x, and x is going to be holding the number $1.99. So x is a float. The data type of x is a float. Now we're going to have another variable. We're going to have it y, and y is going to be equal to, let's say, $2.99. But y, you can see with the delimiters here, y is considered a string data type. So we've got float data type and a string data type. Now, if we go here and we say answer is equal to x plus y, what do you think is going to happen? We're asking Python to add together a float and a string value into the same variable, and Python's not going to be able to comply because the number 1.99 is incompatible with the characters, the printed characters 2.99. 2.99 is considered a string, which is just a word, and Python doesn't know how to deal with this. So what we need to do is, before we can add these two things together, we need to convert the variable y, the string value, into a float so that we can add floats and floats. So let's see if we can make this work. So I'm going to say convert y into a float. So how can we do that? Well, Python has a number of built-in data type conversion functions that we can use. So let's say make a variable, we'll call it float version of y is equal to the float of y. So the float function takes one argument, and that's the value that you want to attempt to convert into a float. It takes that value, attempts to parse it into a floating point value, and returns the floating point value out of that function. So now, this variable here, float version of y, is containing the floating point version of 2.99, in which case we can add the items. We can say answer is equal to x plus float version of y, and if we run this program and just print out answer, if we go ahead and run this, we should be able to see that we are able to see the correct answer. However, if we tried this, answer 2 is equal to x plus y, and we attempt to run that, we're going to see that we're unable to do that. And the reason why is we're not allowed to add strings and we're not allowed to add floats together. So that's a use case for why you would use data type conversion. So Python has 3 different data type conversion functions that we're going to use at the beginning of the semester, and I'll give you an example of them. So let's erase this program and we'll start over again. So we're going to create 3 variables. A is equal to 1.99, B is equal to 2.99, and C is equal to 5. So let's say we want to convert A, which is a string, into a float. What we could do is we could say new A is equal to the float of A. That says take A, convert it to a float, store it in the value new A. Let's work with B. Let's say we wanted to treat B, which is the floating point value 299, as a string or as a word. We could say new B is equal to the str of B. Str is a conversion function that takes a value and converts it to a string. New B is now holding the string value of the variable B, which is the word 2.99. And then the last one is the int function. So the int function, let's change this up here. 5 right here, we're going to turn it into a string. So C is equal to the string 5. New C, we could convert that to an integer by typing int of C, like that. So that's going to convert C into its integer value. So as you can see, the data type conversion functions are very useful in terms of converting values from one data type to another. Also note that there are potential times where the conversion will not be possible from one data type to another. I'll give you an example of this. What if I had this? What if I had D is equal to apple, and I say new D is equal to the floating point value of D? Do you think that's going to be possible? There's no way we can convert apple into a floating point number, and Python's actually going to raise an exception and tell us that there's an error on that line because it's impossible to convert apple into the floating point value of apple. All right, one last thing. Why is this actually useful? Because you can see here, if we have this program and we wanted to work with it, we could just avoid this whole problem in the first place by taking out the quotes, right? We could just keep these guys all as numeric values and then just work with them as though they were straight up numbers, and we wouldn't have any problem. Where this becomes incredibly important is when we're asking the user for input. So I'm going to erase this program. We're going to give you an example here. So let's ask the user for 2 numbers. We're going to say num1 is equal to input of enter a number. So we're going to start off with num1, and then we're going to create the second one. We're going to say num2 is equal to input of enter another number. Now remember, from our discussion on the input function, input always returns a string, meaning that what's going to come out of the input function will be a word. So if the user types in two numbers, we're not going to necessarily be able to add those two numbers together, divide those two numbers, subtract them. We can't use them in math operations because the values are strings, they're words. So what we need to do is we need to convert them into numeric data types. So convert the number the user entered into a float. We're going to say float num1 is equal to the float of num1. So ask the user for a word, grab it as a word, and then convert it to a floating point value, and now we can use that floating point value in a calculation. So this is a two-step process. Step 1, ask the user for something. Step 2, convert it to its floating point value. We can also do this in one step. We could do it down here. Do this all in one step. So check this out. What I could do is I could say, ask the user for a number. That's what the input function is doing here. And then directly after that, convert that to a floating point value. This is what we call nesting. So with nesting, what we're doing, and I'll just put some spaces in here so you can see what's happening, is we're executing the innermost function first. Python's going to execute this function first, the input function, which means we're going to ask the user for the question first. As soon as they comply, this thing's going to return a string. That string is going to be passed as an argument into this float function right here, which will generate the floating point value of that input and store the value here in num2, which means at the end of the day, we can compute the answer. We can say answer is equal to float num1 plus num2 and print the sum is, comma, answer. And this is an allowable expression. So I can run this thing and I can type in the numbers 5 and 7 and the sum is 12. 12.0 actually, because we converted the incoming values into floating point values. So the moral of the story is when you're working with user input, you need to ask the user for their input using the input function. That's always going to come back as a string. Once you have that string, you have to convert it into the appropriate data type using either float or int if you're working with numeric data, and then you can utilize those values in whatever math calculations you're working with.